It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
And a fine Saturday matinee to you, Andrew Nelson.
Good morning.
How's your day? How's your movie life? What you got going on?
It's okay. It's been a busy week at work, and so every time I try watching something, I end up falling asleep within 15 minutes. So I haven't been able to get through anything. One of those weeks. I've been, and it doesn't help that I'm pushing through the 70s version of The Great Gatsby with Robert Redford, which is a little slow.
It's a slow one. Yeah.
So working on that, and it's good for sleeping.
I've got it's big plans this weekend, because it's Deadpool weekend.
Deadpool weekend.
Yeah. Are you going to get out and see it?
I will be in a tent all weekend, so the answer is no.
Oh, I was going to say, but will you be seeing Deadpool there?
I will do my best. I don't know if I can get a print, but I'll try.
Tent print? I don't know. He's been pretty generous about it. The promotion, they've just, I don't know. The promotion of this movie is fantastic. It's just fantastic. Every time I turn around, they've done some other bit of nonsense, and it's just great. I just watched a clip on YouTube of Deadpool taking over Stephen Colbert's monologue, doing the monologue. It was very funny. It's very charming. They did a music video from Celine Dion. She apparently has a song in the movie, and Deadpool comes out in 5-inch stiletto heels and does an amazing dance, like modern interpretive dance to Celine Dion. It's a fantastic thing to search for.
Based on the posters the advertising that they've been doing, I'm not surprised because, they've, and even in the first one, they were playing around with this, like the romantic love advertising billboards from the first one. This one, the poster of him posed like...
the whole flash dance
thing. The flash dance poster. Yeah. They're very much playing with the kind of the stereotypes of genre and just having a lot of fun with it, which fits with the character.
Yeah, does that excite you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm thrilled by all of this stuff. I think it's hilarious and it makes me more excited. I just haven't had a chance to really check anything out. I missed the Celine Dion video, so I'm gonna have to watch that. Oh,
it's great. It's just great. So I'm very excited about it this weekend, and there you go.
Well, if I get back in time, maybe I'll sneak out and go see it on Sunday afternoon, but we'll see how I'm doing.
There was a great episode of the Imaginary Worlds podcast, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. It was called Jack Kirby's Marvels, and it was all about the role that Jack Kirby had in, the creation of all these characters, and particularly in Stan Lee's success. And I was riveted by this episode. If you don't know the background of Jack Kirby, because you see Jack Kirby's name all over the place, but you just don't hear very much about him. It was really illuminating. I have never heard of that guy's the details of the guy's life, and Stan Lee has so eclipsed his sort of cinematic with his cinematic participation here in the MCU. He's so eclipsed Kirby's.
Well, let's be honest. He's been eclipsing it since the beginning, because even in the beginning, Stan Lee was kind of the narrator in the old, Spider-Man comics and stuff like that. Stay tuned, web slingers.
Yeah, right.
And he was always, kind of the voice. I grew up recognizing Stan Lee. And Jack Kirby is one of those. Yeah, Jack Kirby is one of those names that I see paired with Stan Lee and other people, but I've never really known much about him.
It's a great episode, and it talks all about his work and, all of the different characters that he's created for both Marvel and DC and all the spin-off companies. It's really illuminating.
We need
highly
a Kirby
recommend
Lee
it.
biopic.
They do. They totally do.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Anyhow, totally worth it. Imaginary Worlds, put the link in the show notes. I will. Cool. I will actually put the link in the show notes right now.
I like that. It's like live happening.
It is. It's happening right this second. Okay. You want to do trailers? You got any other news?
I don't. I don't. I will say Infinity War is doing quite well. If that's
tell me about that.
If that's any surprising news.
How well is it doing?
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's that surprising, but yeah, Avengers Infinity War is doing really well for itself. You know, I mean, I think already the box office is like almost 1.7 billion.
so much money in a row.
I know.
Oh my God. That is all the money, Andy.
Yeah. All the money is right there right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what that looks like.
I'm trying to remember how much money Walter White had in that locker. I know it wasn't
in the
that
trailer?
much, but
no.
It was a lot, though.
Yeah,
it was
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, dare to dream.
There you go.
I'm going to go first, unless you have a red band. I don't remember.
I do not. Nor do I have an A24.
Okay. Well, my trailer, Andy, oh my goodness. This is one of those movies that I didn't know that I was looking forward to as much as I was looking forward to it until I saw this. It's actually the teaser. It's a teaser for Bohemian Rhapsody, starring Rami Malek. And Andy, is he amazing? Amazing in this movie. Like he was born to play this character, born to do it. And so Rami Malek plays Freddie Mercury, but they have an amazing cast of other folks who join the club here, including weirdly uncredited or at least no character name. Mike Myers is in here somewhere, but I don't know who he's playing. Anyway,
Mike Myers is playing Rami Malek playing Freddie Mercury.
The whole thing is actually and
he's
actually
just playing. He's playing his teeth.
He's playing his teeth, which are actually being played by Sacha Baron Cohen, playing Mike Myers, playing Rami Malek's teeth. I was just blown away by the look and feel of this character, by the voice. He's doing the singing, the Freddie Mercury singing, and
lip syncing.
Right. He's not lip syncing, is he?
He's lip syncing. I think it's a lip synced film.
I saw the whole thing, and he said he had to endure Queen watching him sing Freddie Mercury. I'm not sure you're right. You might be, but I'm not sure. And this may be I don't know. I don't know if I misunderstood but this is Rami Malek talking.
Well, I don't know because in the trailer that you picked, it's definitely Queen. We're not hearing. I mean, it's just clearly Freddie Mercury singing. So I guess I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait to see the film.
Rami Malek had to watch Queen listen to him sing. There it is. Bohemian Rhapsody. I can't find it right now, and it's a YouTube video. It's like 10 minutes long, so I'd have to track that down. But you're right. The promo material is all Queen stuff, but I think he's singing. I think he's singing.
Well, that'll be exciting to see.
So I think it looks really, really great. I think it looks like, I don't know, just the teaser, it looks like the kind of movie that I want to see out of Queen's music. I think it looks really, really great. And he just, I hope I'm not getting overexcited because he so deeply looks the part. Because I have been known to get excited about those kinds of things. So
what happened to Sacha Baron Cohen? Because when I first heard about this film, I thought I had heard his name attached.
Yeah, and talk about another amazing, that would have been another option, amazing transformation because he also really looks the part. But I don't know. Sacha Baron, let's do some live searching here. Cohen, Freddie Mercury.
He left the project due to creative differences. Allegedly, he wished to produce an adult-oriented film while the band wanted to take a more family-friendly approach. So he left on good terms.
Yeah. Yeah.
What that means.
I don't know. An adult-oriented film.
A little darker tale, I guess.
Or just straight up porn.
Well, what's interesting is the film ended up getting directed by Bryan Singer, kind of. And this is where I'm curious to see how the whole thing plays out, because Bryan Singer was directing it, and then after Thanksgiving, just this
Dexter
past year,
Fletcher,
he didn't come back to direct it. and he didn't return to set, and everyone's like, what the heck is going on? He said it was, or the reports were, it was a personal matter, a health matter concerning him and his family. But a lot of sources say that he and Rami Malek were getting tired of Bryan Singer's behavior, showing up late to set, clashing with Malek on set, and then shortly after that, he was fired as the director with about 2 weeks remaining in the principal photography. They terminated the deal with Bad Hat Harry Productions, with the studio. Like, they're not working with his company anymore. And yeah, Dexter Fletcher came on to finish shooting those last couple of weeks.
And interestingly, Dexter Fletcher, he hasn't directed much. He's mostly, been an actor for a long, long time. But he did direct Eddie the Eagle with Taron Egerton and Hugh Jackman. Yeah. And Sunshine on Leith with, which was another good one. So I don't know. I mean, I never saw Wild Bill, but that was his third. So it should be interesting. I think he has an interesting sensibility, and so I'm super curious. This is one of those films that could be either really great, hanging on the off the shoulders of Rami Malek and his performance of Freddie Mercury, or it could be just a hot mess, not able to get over all the politics and studio blunders and personalities involved. I hope it's the former.
I hope so too, because I really enjoy their music, and seeing this story would be a pretty interesting one to look at. So
yeah. So that's my trailer, and it's coming. It's coming in November 2nd, 2018 in the U.S. And looks like it starts its rollout in the U.K. October 24th, appropriately, and it'll roll out over the course of November and December around the world. So Bohemian Rhapsody, can't wait.
Fantastic,
Mamma mia.
Well, I am going with Spike Lee's new joint, BLACKkKLANSMAN, which is kind of just like one big word with KKK in the middle. BLACKkKLANSMAN is, I think, how you say it. BLACKkKLANSMAN. This is what I found so interesting about this. But it's a really interesting story. First of all, it takes place in the 70s. And it is about an African-American detective, Ron Stallworth, who moves to Colorado Springs, Colorado, a place we're familiar with. And he ends up infiltrating, and he becomes a police officer and infiltrates the local KKK and becomes the head of the chapter, with the help of another detective, played by Adam Driver. And it just, I think my impression of this trailer is it was like Spike Lee doing something that felt like a Spike Lee joint. It really feels like the type of story he would love to dig his teeth into, while at the same time feeling very Coen Brothers-esque. And that blend of this kind of dark comedy in this detective story just looked brilliant and got me super excited. So, plus I love seeing these people in it. Topher Grace playing David Duke, the head of the KKK, just cracks me up to no end. And John David Washington, I think though, I think he's the one who sells everything for me in this trailer. He's an actor who's been in some things. I think probably most notably it's his role in Ballers. But really, it's like the phone conversation he has when he first calls the local KKK office and puts on his white man voice and has that conversation with him. It was brilliant. That, to me, I'm like, I am so right there with this movie. So, I'm super, super excited about this one. And I can't say that very often about Spike Lee, because so often I feel he's making films that don't interest me, or he's being too forceful of a director, and sometimes I just am not that interested in what he's doing. Sometimes I am, like when he did Bamboozled, I really, really liked that one, but there are times where it's just too much for me. But man, this one, it looks just totally right up my alley. What'd you think?
Well, I'm very excited about it. Do you remember the story?
I never have heard of this story before. Never.
So I was very young when this happened, and in fact, since I wasn't born there, but was raised there. I mean, we moved to Colorado Springs in the late 70s, and so but I can tell you that David Duke's name was very fresh in Colorado Springs, and we moved to Colorado Springs. Like, this is where we were, like right at the time, and my dad was a he was in journalism and worked for a couple of television stations, one right after the other. And so David Duke was a frequent name around our house. And so, when I heard this movie was coming, we started talking about it just around the family of our connection to Stallworth and to the Colorado Springs Police Department. And to my dad used to do this documentary called Of Service and Valor about the Colorado Springs Police, and that it always comes back to this crazy story about Ron Stallworth and his efforts to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan. And so I don't remember the details. I was so young, but I'm very excited about that whole Colorado Springs connection. And I'm super excited to see just how great they treat or how ridiculously they treat my adopted hometown.
I can't wait. It's
very
going to be interesting to see.
Yeah.
This film just premiered at the Cannes Film Festival, and it looks like it's opening here in the U.S. August 10th, and it'll kind of have a slow rollout from there through the end of the year. So far, it's just France, Germany, the UK, Netherlands, Sweden, and Russia. But hopefully, more places will get it so more people can see it.
It's frustrating a little bit that it only just crests the 6-star rule on IMDb. It's at a 6.5, so I'm slightly nervous.
Well, I also feel like, that's the con
reviews.
audience, and I feel like they're snobs. I say that with love.
Not a whole lot of love, but some love. Some love.
A little bit of love.
All right, Andy.
Maybe some jealousy. There's probably some of that.
They're snobby, but they're in Cannes. Yeah.
And I'm
so whatever. Let's do the list.
Absolutely. So this week we are talking about Interstellar, Christopher Nolan's space epic, which really kind of kicks off with a big environmental catastrophe happening on Earth, the giant dust bowl that's become a dust planet. And really, it's kind of the story about how Earth becomes Jakku, I believe, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Right.
So it's a whole. There's a Venn diagram of cinematic universes that are crossing, and we're right in the middle.
And somehow in the time travel series, it all makes sense because technically Jakku is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but really it's right here.
But it's also in your library, in your bedroom. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right.
Anyway, because of that, we threw the list out to the folks over all of our wonderful Patreon supporters. The list options as environmental catastrophe, Mean Matt Damon, which, I don't know. I feel a little upset that we don't get to talk about Mean Matt Damon tonight.
Me too.
But they didn't pick that, or nor did they pick Daddy Issues. It's environmental catastrophe. So here we are doing our lists of environmental catastrophe movies. And since I introduced it, I'll let you kick it off.
Oh, Andy, really? Are you sure you want to do that?
I don't.
I'll let you.
No, do it.
Andy, I intentionally and enthusiastically went to the bottom of my personal barrel on these movies. And I think I truck in bad environmental disaster movies. I mean, if there's the world falling apart or crazy giant sharks, those are really those hit my sweet spot for I don't know why. So I'm going to start with a movie that I saw at an age where had I seen it any older, I would have been angry. But when I saw it, I wasn't angry. I think I was confused, and over the years, I became angry. So that's why I start with this as my number 3, and that is, of course, old 2x4 in Waterworld. He plays a boat-bound, paladin in a future after the poles have melted, and he has to go up against our man, what's his name? Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper, and drink his own pee. And that just slayed me. When I saw that, I was like, this is no future I want a part of. I hate this movie. I don't care. All the production stuff, losing all the reels of film, sliding off the boat. Like, it's just comedy of errors. But when Kevin Costner drank his own pee, I was like, screw this. But I honestly loved the whole concept of riding around in boats and boat jousting and floating, islands of machines and brigands. I was, at the time, I was all in on this movie. And so we're going to set the bar at Waterworld, and we're gonna go down from there.
I will say I had fun with Waterworld. And the thing that has always stuck with me is Dennis Hopper when, I don't know, somebody must be giving him a sob story. I really can't remember the context, but he just goes, well, golly gee, a solitary tear rolls down my cheek or something.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that was Dennis Hopper at his best.
Andy. Yeah.
Well, for my first one, I'm going a little more serious. I am looking at a film that I just saw fairly recently, but I found quite enjoyable. It's not the greatest film, but they did it really well. And it is the Norwegian catastrophe film, The Wave, directed by Roar Uthaug. I don't know if I'm saying that right at all, who just did the new Tomb Raider movie.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is a really kind of a neat movie about this little town nestled in this kind of a fjord. It's at the base of a fjord, basically, in Norway. And this guy, he's a geologist, and it's his like last day of work or something before he leaves. But the monitoring station is sensing something strange, and he's not sure what it is. And so, but basically what it is there's something that's happened, and the whole side of the mountain on the fjord like slides off into the water right here. And it's a really narrow stretch of water. You know how these fjords are. It's like big mountains on either side of a narrow stretch of water. And what happens is this mountain crashes into it, and it creates this enormous tidal wave. And the people in town don't have enough warning, and they're trying to run out of there. And it's one of the most impressive wave scenes that I've seen. When it hits the town, it's just devastating, and it's done so horrifyingly. It's beautiful to watch in all of its horror. But then you really stick with this family as he tries to find his his family, his wife and his son, who were somewhere down at her hotel. And it's this mad chase to see if they're alive. Just really exciting stuff. So that is my first pick, Roar Uthaug's 2015 movie, The Wave.
I can't believe I've never seen that movie.
Oh,
it
check
seems
it
like
out.
it's right up my alley. And
Totally is.
according to you, it's actually a good movie.
It is. So I don't know if it's going to fit in the wheelhouse of what you like to get out of your environmental catastrophe movies, but it's
Probably
still worth
not.
watching.
Probably not. But still, yeah. Well, I'll give it a shot.
There's no Dennis Hopper.
See if we survive. My second pick. This is a movie that it skirts the things that I really like about this movie, and still managed to make me just really rage at its story. I was going to say the dying of the light and go all poetic, but this movie doesn't deserve it. What's interesting about it is the cast. I'm talking about The Day After Tomorrow. This is the story of Dennis Quaid. His character Jack Hall turns out he has a theory and he's proven wrong. I don't even remember the whole detail, but I remember it got really cold really fast. And our man Jake Gyllenhaal and Emmy Rossum and the kids of New York end up stuck in the public library as they literally run from the cold. And the walls are freezing around them, and they're sprinting down the hall trying to get to the fire, running from the cold. Meanwhile, Dennis Quaid and his buddy Dash Mihok are actually snowshoeing up the eastern seaboard in this terrifying maniacal storm. They made a snowstorm sentient, Andy. That, I think, is the problem that I had with this movie. It was ridiculous, and yet still a movie that I would watch if it were just on. I would still watch it, even though I'm enraged by it.
I would totally watch this movie again too.
Right?
it's bad, but
It's
it is
so-
really fun. It's
so
Roland
bad.
Emmerich fun, and it's watching Dennis. I mean, plus he always casts his movies well, so even when they're terrible, it's just enjoyable watching them. Because Dennis Quaid, Jake Gyllenhaal, come on, they're great to watch, and
They are.
watching them working to come together is everything. And I think my favorite moment in the film, though, is this cold is coming, and you have all these Americans fleeing to get across the border into Mexico, which
I know.
I just thought
I
that was
know, it's so good.
the most
It's very
brilliant
timely
moment from the film.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
it is.
a paleo.
What would they do if there was a wall? Pete.
They freeze against it. It's just a pile of frozen people. Paleoclimatologist. That's what he plays. That's one of the things I think about Roland Emmerich is his science stars are all the fantastic mashups of other fields.
I want to know how many young kids are watching this going, I want to be a paleoclimatologist too.
Yes.
Where can I go to college for that?
Is there a program in Maine on an island maybe? Okay.
Oh,
so that's my second one, Day After Tomorrow, 2004.
Excellent. For my second one, I am going with the disaster film The Impossible from 2012, directed by J.A. Bayona, which is a story about a Spanish family, Maria Belon and her family in the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami that was just absolutely horrifying and devastating. Very, very much a true story. There is some people who complained about the casting of Naomi Watts and Ewan McGregor and Tom Holland, and this was this story that took place in overseas in the Indian Ocean, and here we are doing a film with a bunch of white people instead of people who actually might have been more devastated by this thing. That being said, I found this story so powerful and just so intense, watching the struggles that this family goes through after this tsunami hits, and watching them as they're trying to find each other in this devastated Thailand. It was just an incredible film, and it hit me in all the right ways. Watching Naomi Watts struggling in her struggles, where she ended up, and then Ewan McGregor, and I think she ends up with one son, and Ewan McGregor ends up with the other two. Yeah,
right.
And just watching them trying to find each other. I mean, it's just an incredibly powerful story, and it's a really strong one. Some people I think found it a little too maudlin, but for me, it did all the right things, and very strong story. Even though it is kind of a whitewashed version of this devastation, I found it incredibly powerful just on the human side. And you still get a lot of the people from Thailand and the devastation that they went through. So that's my second choice.
Oh, man. This movie sucked to watch. But for all the right reasons, it was hard to watch, and I think watching things like the Kilauea exploding right now, and thinking about families who are thinking about just sort of watching devastation that could come. I think about this. These movies have hit me much harder since I had a family of young kids, and this one in particular, strong. My next one isn't. Not even a little bit strong. This is the one, and this is the one I've seen the most recently. In fact, it was just last year, and I don't know if you remember, I was enraged by this movie because this movie didn't actually have any of the fun things that I like about these destructive movies, apart from the special effects, things falling down, buildings falling into other buildings, those sorts of things. It was a little bit charming, but my God, did Dean Devlin screw up Geostorm? This I was so enraged. And he had the usual cast. Gerard Butler, Ed Harris was in it. Andy Garcia was the president. Abbie Cornish, Jim Sturgis. The relationship between Butler and Sturgis as brothers in this movie was wholly unbelievable and stupid. The whole space station that can shoot little pods into the atmosphere and control the weather is, as a sci-fi concept, really so promising. But my God, Gerard Butler, what happened to you, man? Like, this is not your genre, weirdly. Like, it feels like it should be. It feels like you've been on a train since 300 to end up in this movie, and it should have been great, and it just was not. It was not great. It made me mad, and I felt betrayed, and I just wanted it to rain, like, to cleanse me. I needed a cleansing rain after this movie, Geostorm. It was so terrible.
Oh, that's too bad.
All the destruction, all the natural disaster, and none of the redemption of the good kind of bad. I would watch Sharknado first. Sharknado 5.
There you go.
Yeah.
Which I guess could be an environmental
disaster of its own. You didn't see this?
I didn't. No, I didn't even bother wanting. Why watch something like that? It looked terrible.
Oh, I saw it. Biggest screen I could find.
I'm sure you did.
Smart ass.
Well, for my final pick, I am also going with a recent film from last year. A film that really hit me hard, it's a close to home story. It is Joseph Kosinski's film based on the Granite Mountain hot shots, Only the Brave, which came out, just last year. Fantastic cast: Josh Brolin, Miles Teller, Jeff Bridges, Taylor Kitsch, James Badge Dale, Jennifer Connelly. Just a great group of people telling this story about this fire crew up in Prescott, Arizona, who what's great about the film is it's more than just about the devastating fire that at Granite Mountain that took their lives. It really is a much broader story about this group of firefighters. And you really get to know them, and you get to see kind of the struggles they go through in their lives, and really learn what it is to become a team like this. And it makes for such a powerful film because you really get to know this team, and you really feel like you're a part of this team. And then to have this devastating thing happen at the end of the film, it hits really hard. And I found it to be an incredibly, incredibly powerful story. And it really shocked me that it got such little notice when it came time for awards and all that, or even the box office. That's another thing. Like, it hardly did a dent in the box office. I think the production budget was $38 million. Worldwide gross was $23 million. I don't know what happened, but people just didn't seem interested in this story. But I found it to be incredibly powerful, incredibly honest, and definitely something that I think people need to watch.
This is one of those movies that came out, and I remember being super interested in it. I'm sure you and I talked about it, and then I immediately forgot about it, and I haven't thought about it since. I need to get this on the list. Do you know if it's streaming yet? I mean, is it? I'm sure it's out.
I think it came out back in February, so it's floating around out there.
Well, I need to add it to the list because it sounds like a movie I would like. That's the truth.
It is. It's a tough one to watch, but it's definitely one that people need to see.
All right. Well, I'll do it. But and that, I think, does it. That does it for our list of environmental disasters. I think you took the high road. I definitely took the low road. And out of the 6 movies that we picked, there's only one that I recommend you only watch if you're ready to get super, super angry. And there you go. Good list. Now,
fantastic.
I am surprised that neither of us picked The Happening. It was close on my list because I don't think I have a very high opinion of that movie, because the whole plants talking to one another and conspiring against us. I'm not crazy.
I didn't think that had anything to do with plants, did it? Wasn't that just the wind? Like the wind was killing
people?
I didn't see it. So I can't speak.
Oh no. Sorry. No, there's a plant subplot.
Oh, okay.
And 2012 was also on my list. Equally bad because you know what? The Mayans weren't right.
They screwed that one up.
Yeah. But any others on your list that you were worried I might steal?
The only other one that I was thinking about putting up there was The Birds, which, is like, it's kind of an environmental catastrophe.
Too good.
But,
too good.
I knew you wouldn't be stealing it.
No, not even close. What is it? What are we doing this week? What's next?
I think we are putting our list up for the folks over on all of our Patreon supporters over on Discord here soon. And I believe we're talking, what did we decide? This is going to be about predestination.
I don't remember. Did we actually talk about it?
And we did. We picked our list. We put it out at the end of the last episode.
Oh, we sure did.
We did unnamed protagonists. We did Ethan Hawke.
The busiest man in Hollywood. Yeah.
And then we also did movies based on short stories. So
Ethan Hawke, movies with unnamed principal characters and based on short stories. Okay. Let's get it up there. I'm excited to see what people come up with. I feel like Ethan Hawke is pretty easy.
I think so. Maybe not quite as prolific as Nicolas Cage, but still.
Or as limiting as mean Matt Damon.
Exactly.
He's the Goldilocks actor. He's the sweet spot. Ethan Hawke is the center of all acting. You thought it was Kevin Bacon, but you'd be a chump.
Good old Kevin Bacon. He used to be so Kevin Bacon-y. But
he did, not anymore. Now he's all
not anymore.
brooding and serious. This has been an awesome chat, Andy. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely.
I hope your weekend is better and your shoot allows you to relax at some point.
Well, I'll be camping all weekend, so I will find relaxation there in the mountains.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/thenextreel. We sure appreciate you helping us to do what we do with this show. I guess until next week, we don't have any specials coming up next week, but we do have Predestination coming up on Thursday. So watch those feeds. This is definitely one of my favorites of the whole time travel series that we're doing. Predestination. Woof. Good movie.
I think it's a fantastic one to talk about. So looking forward to it.
Outstanding. Thanks, Andy. Catch you later.
See ya.